Hi, Guy Hammond, Strength and Weakness Ministries. We're here to prove that we can treat people in the LGBTQ world with dignity, kindness, and respect without lowering what the Bible teaches on these issues. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Just finished teaching a workshop for the Bellevue Church of Christ. Had over 600 in attendance. Had an amazing time as we talked about LGBTQ issues and how they relate to us in matters of faith. If you and your church are interested in hosting something like that, give us a call, reach out to us, email us. We are currently booking right now for fall of 2024. For today's question, we're going to be going to Ellen Radcliffe. Ellen is a professional counselor, marriage, family therapist, and runs her own ministry, Heart Set Above, and also is the Chief Operating Officer for Strength and Weakness. So today's question, we're getting a lot of great questions in, thank you very much, is how young should our kids be when we start talking to them about sex? Oh my goodness, that's a good one. You don't want to miss this. Here we go.
Many parents want to know when to teach their kids about sex, which provides an important foundation in teaching them about sexuality and gender. Remember that teaching our kids about sexuality and gender compounds as they get older, but it starts with a foundational understanding of the body first, which then leads to a foundational understanding of sex. This can provide the bedrock for your kids to one day be able to better understand complex, nuanced topics like sexuality and gender identity through the eyes of God. So when is the right time to teach your kids about the body? From birth. Use proper names for body parts, no euphemisms or nicknames. Properly highlight the differences between men and women's bodies, but without adding rigid gender stereotypes that could induce confusion and shame for your child. When is the right time to teach your child about sex? I wish it were as easy as offering a specific point in development, but unfortunately, it's just not that simple. There's no specific age that applies to every child. Every child is different, and therefore every child's maturity level is unique. Also, the right time depends on you and the values and culture that you've instilled in your home. You are the expert on your own family and children, so you will need to pray and seek advice to discern when the right time is for your child. Keep in mind that this may even vary from child to child within your home. Just because you taught your oldest about sex at 5 doesn't mean that your youngest will necessarily be the same. So be adaptable to meet your child's specific needs. As you're determining when the right time is for your child, here are 2 things to keep in mind. Be the first. As much as possible, you want to be the one to teach your child about sex, sexuality, and gender first, before they're introduced to their peers' misguided information on such delicate and important topics. Children who first learn about sex, sexuality, and gender from their peers or from mainstream media can be extra vulnerable to distortions. Unfortunately, in our modern world, many children are introduced to sexual themes by the time that they're in kindergarten. So keep that in mind as you're implementing wisdom around choosing the right time to begin these tender discussions with your child. This isn't a talk, but several compounding talks. Teaching your child about sex, sexuality, and gender is not just one conversation. This should be a continuous conversation all throughout your child's development. Start with education about the body from birth. Then when your kids are ready, teach them about sex and the complementarity of the bodies between a husband and a wife. And then finally, teach them about biblical gender roles, helping them to sift through earthly gender stereotypes. Be intentional about these discussions with your kids. Don't let this be the only topic that you discuss with your children, but don't shy away from them either. Teaching your kids early on in their lives about the body, about sex, and about the differences between men and women can help to provide a very necessary foundation for you and for them as you seek to one day teach them about more complicated and nuanced aspects of sex, sexuality, and gender, like LGBTQ topics, as they mature and they're better able to grasp more complex topics.